Recently, the save button of this application is not working well. So after each time after finishing recording, so so save button is displayed on in the not in the at the lower right corner of the display of smartphone in the case of iPhone. But actually, so the save button is not working well. So recently, so anyway, so this is just this is just a complaint for for not for against the administrator of this application. Anyway, so the save button, this which is displayed each time after finishing each segment, not segment, but segment is displayed. But actually, that save button is not working well. So I'm sorry for my disorganized manner of speaking English language. There is such a problem essentially. Anyways, which is not the main track of this episode. I was talking about, I was detouring from the main track of this episode, and I should tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. And anyway, so before which I should have told you my name, my alias, and so the name of this podcast before telling you the title and the conclusion of this episode. Anyway, so hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. So I was complaining about the recent problem, which is the email is that as I have told you, so every time after finishing each episode or each segment of podcast. So a save button is displayed on at the at the lower right corner of of the display of iPhone. So anyway, but actually, so just according to maybe the specification of this smartphone is working in that manner. But actually, so essentially, so the save button is not working. So anyway, that is not your business. So the title is I'm going to tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. And the title is Outsiders Lead the World in Crisis. And the conclusion is I'm not sure, but the Third World War may happen in the near future. So why I began to think that I have thought that so the occurrence of the Third World War is really small or zero, which is what I have thought. Anyway, so not roughly saying, but actually this is that I have not anticipated that the Third World War is going to happen. Anyway, so which has been my thought, or which has been my prediction in my mind. But actually, so the the not the premonition or the triggers or the trigger which made me change what I have thought. There's a trigger which made me change how I thought. What my prediction is the fact that so the the not prime minister, yeah, but the prime minister was chosen in the United Kingdom. So I'm sorry for my clumsy manner of speaking English language. The prime minister is Mr. Not Mr. So prime minister Rishi Sunak. I don't know the correct pronunciation of his name, because so he has an Indian lineage, or he has an Indian ancestry, or he has Indian ancestry to start with. His ethnic group is in India. So anyway, so he is a believer of Hindu religion. So thinking about which, maybe his ancestors have spoken Hindi language. So Hindi religion is what he believes. So wait a moment, please. Let me use an internet for smartphone is really convenient, because it's possible to investigate what people wants to know. So Hindu is the name of a religion. So Hinduism is maybe this is a correct word for the name of that religion believed in India. Indian religion. Yeah, Hinduism is the correct word for it as an English language. Anyway, so the followers or the believers are called Hindus. The name of the religion is Hinduism, and the believers are named Hindus. Maybe. Am I correct? Anyway, so whatever. So such a thing is what I was speaking at. So I'm sorry for calling Mr. Snack as an outsider, but actually, so as you can see, I'm not asking this. I'm not saying as you can hear how he speaks. I'm not saying such a thing. So as you can see, and so the English language he speaks that is a decent English language, grounding in Great Britain or United Kingdom anyway, or England. So whatever you call the English language he speaks out. But actually, so as you can see, his ethnic group is not British, and but actually he was chosen as the prime minister of United Kingdom anyway. So what I'd like you to know in this time is that so in the situations of crisis, for example, so in such a perilous situation, so in such a dangerous situations, or in such a lethal situations, such leaders like outsiders, or some leaders frequently categorized into outsiders are likely to be chosen, which is what I'd like you to know this time. I'm sorry I'm sorry for my disorganized manner of speaking the English language. Anyway, so there's a suitable not explanation. There's a suitable example. There's a suitable instance, which is a Soviet Union in the time or during the time of World War II, or the Second World War, in which the leader or the political leader of Soviet Union had been Stalin, or I forgot his patronymics. I have forgot his patronymic anyway. So Joseph Stalin, or Joseph Dzhigashvili, or anyway, Mr. Joseph Stalin had been the leader of Soviet Union at the time of the Second World War, and as I have created an episode having told you that so his ethnic group is Georgia. Georgian is the name of his ethnic group. Anyway, so last so I don't know the exact meaning actually. So I don't know exact meaning of Russian in English language, but actually, so Russian is Ruski in Russian language, and Ruski means the ethnic Russian person, or ethnic Russian, which is the meaning of Ruski. So, but actually, so if you call somebody Russian, so you have to distinguish two ways, because so Russia is not a nation state. So what I'd like you to know this time is that Russia is a federation, not a nation state, which means so there are many ethnic groups living in there are many ethnic groups living in the soil of Russian Federation, which is why, so there are some Asian people, there are some East Asian people like I am living in in the soil of Russia as Russian citizens. There are such East Asian people, which is and so, there are some Muslim people. There are some Muslim people living in the soil of Russian Federation as the citizens of Russian Federation. So there, but actually, so but actually, so the crux is not the crux anyway. The mainstream of Russian Federation is ethnically Russian people, aren't they? So maybe you can understand such a thing if you are white people living in Western European countries, which are advanced countries in Europe, and if you are white people living in developed Western European countries, so you can understand what I'm saying, because so if you are so for example, if you are if you are French white people, and you're of course the assumption, not assumption, the hypothesis that your ethnic group is French, not for example, not British, nor German, nor Spanish, but French, living in France. So such people are the mainstream people among all such people are the majority, or the main, and they are majority, but actually they are the mainstream people in France, for example. And in the case of German people, and if you are white people living in Germany, as ethnically German people and speaking standard German language, not the German language of for example, Switzerland, or of Austria. So if you speak standard German language, and as living in German soil as German white people, and so you are the mainstream you are the mainstream in the soil of Germany. Such a thing is what I'm saying. But actually, so in the case of Soviet Union, so maybe the mainstream are Slavic people, or Slaviansky Luji. Anyway, I don't know how to conjugate them. Anyway, but actually, so in the case of Slavic people, Russian people, and Ukrainian people, and Belarusian people are the mainstream peoples in maybe not present term is not suitable. So in the case of Soviet Union, so Russian people and Ukrainian people and Belarusian people had been the mainstream groups in the Soviet Union, which is what I'd like you to understand in this phase. So, but actually, so thinking about which, so Mr. Joseph Stalin had, was not among those mainstream groups, but actually he was chosen as the leader of Soviet Union. That is because at the time when he was chosen, or when he was an incumbent leader when he was the incumbent leader of Soviet Union, the era was really perilous, or anyway, roughly saying, the situation at that era had been dangerous, or had been a crisis. So which is in such a case, so it's really it's really difficult. I can't explain the logical causalities, or I can't explain the causalities, or even the correlations of the reasons why Mr. Joseph Stalin was chosen as the leader of Soviet Union, and why Mr. Rishi Sunak was chosen as the Prime Minister of United Kingdom. But actually, so this can be a kind of correlation. But actually, both of those countries had been in the perilous era. So, and in the case of the Soviet Union, so that was in the time of the Second World War, and in the case of this present time. So I'm creating this episode in the no, yeah in the end of October, in the end of October in 2022. So Mr. Rishi Sunak had been just chosen as the Prime Minister of United Kingdom. So and yeah, he has been chosen. He has been chosen. Because he's an incumbent Prime Minister. He's the incumbent Prime Minister of United Kingdom, and so this era is really dangerous in that sense that so this world is it's filled with dangerous events like the war taking place in Ukraine. So in the case of that Slavic war, the name of that war is Russo-Ukrainian War. So Russia invaded the soil of Ukraine, and Ukrainian troops are fighting against Russia, and Russia took over four oblasts of Ukrainian territories anyway. So from Ukrainian territories, in such a situation, and Russia has a plan of experimenting nuclear weapon. There is such a news, or there was such a news anyway. So past present tense is fine. There is such a news in which Russian Federation has a plan of doing an experiment or experiments using nuclear weapons. There is such a piece of information anyway. There is such an online news and TV news or television news anyway. And another stuff is that so so in the case of East Asia, so mainland China may invade into Taiwan Island. There is such a, and by doing which the Third World War may occur or may happen in the near future. That is so. This is such a situation, and in the case of other countries, the prices of goods have risen, or the prices of goods have surged. So which is why so people suffer from those high costs of livings, which is a situation we are facing, or we are experiencing. So so maybe, I don't feel that the prices of goods are raised to such a significant extent. But actually, so people have suffered from the rises of the prices of goods. So in the case, and according to the news streamed from televisions, so people say that the prices of goods are raised. So which is why so people suffer from people and managers of small shops, for example, the managers of grocery stores, or the managers of shops of fishes suffer from the rises or the surged prices of for example vegetables or fish. And which is why so they can, so those managers of those small shops can't get sufficient benefits from their sales. So which is a situation of my country, and they are just examples, and maybe, and which is I think which is the case, and which not only I think that's the case to other countries, but actually the fact is that so many people around the world suffer from the rises of prices of goods, or many people suffer from the raised prices of goods caused by the Russo-Ukrainian war, and which triggers which triggered Russian Federation being sanctioned by many countries, and many countries ceased to buy, or many countries have stopped purchasing natural resources, or not natural resources, fossil fuels, or for example natural gas, or crude oil from Russia. So which is why so people suffer from the lack or the scarcity of natural gas or crude oils. So thinking about which, so not thinking, yeah, thinking about which, so people are in perilous situations. So yeah, so that is the situation you are involved. Which if you live in some Western European countries, anyway, like which, so so in such a case, so such outsiders are chances are outsiders are chosen in such crises. So which is what I'd like you to know this time. So I'm thinking I'm going to end this episode. I'm going to finish this recording. So the title is Outsiders Lead the World in Crisis, and the conclusion is I'm not sure, but the Third World War may happen in the near future. So thinking about it, so so maybe I think Russian Federation is going to use nuclear bomb or some nuclear weapon against Ukraine, and the target, I think the target is Kiev or Kiev. Kiev in Russian language. So which is why so maybe Ukrainian people are in danger of getting assailed or getting attacked by some nuclear weapons. So I'd like to say good luck to Ukrainian people and other people involved or embroiled into that war and into other dangerous situations. So that's it. Thank you very much for everything. See you. And I used internet and I investigated the pronunciation of the plural form of Hindu. And so Hindu means a person believing Hinduism, and I said Hindus, but actually Hindus is a wrong pronunciation, and the correct pronunciation is Hindus, and Hindus is a plural form for Hindu, which means so which means Hindus are people who are Hindus are believers of Hinduism. And so another correction is that, so in the beginning of this episode, I was talking about the recent problem of saving button of this application. But actually, so I said I was detouring from the main track. But actually, so the correct word was I was digressing from or I was veering from the main track of this episode, or I was deviating from from the main track of this episode. I was trying to say, maybe not detouring, but so digressing. So digression. The digression is what I was trying to speak out.